Oh, and Brent, we have actually Jam here who's going to do chat. So she's a new face, but she's awesome.
Hey, Jam,
Hi.
let's rock and roll.
You ready?
Are you kidding me? Of
All
course
right,
I'm ready.
start.
Look at this new fun logo we've got. You want to hit us with that smoke machine real quick, and we're gonna get this thing fired. Can we get some lasers going on? Come on, it's Thursday. It's game 2 of the Suns finals. Is that all?
I'm speechless. It looks amazing. I love the retro look of the triangles on the TTP.
Look at this. Now we're doing it.
I got some music going too for while people come in.
I'll tell
All
you
right,
what.
let's do it.
If you have somebody else that comes on this show with you guys that has a fog machine and lasers, I want to know about it because I think I'm the only one
You're the only one so far.
so far.
Hey, well, while you guys are joining in, why don't you let us know where you're calling in from in the chat and how many deals you've done so far. Can't wait to meet you guys. And of course, with us tonight, we've got Brent Daniels. For those of you who don't know, he's going to teach you how to cold call. We're going to follow a certain format tonight. We're going to go ahead and let Brent tell his story, give our background. We're going to spend a lot of time doing Q&A. So as you guys have questions, we'll actually be bringing you on to ask those live. And then at the very end, after 8 o'clock, we're going to do a software demo.
Awesome. I'm excited for it, guys. Look at all these people across the country. This is fantastic, especially if you guys haven't done any deals. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about what I think is really, really, really important as you're starting to build your real estate business is a schedule. Oh, no, not the schedule, Brent. That means discipline. That means accountability. That means I have to be able to stick to something and build something and show up every single day. I'm an entrepreneur. I don't want to schedule. I want to break out of the schedule. Listen, the schedule gets you the freedom that you're looking for. Okay. So just a little bit about me, guys. I started real estate in 2004 after reading Rich Dad, Poor Dad, right? Which is a fantastic opening for all of us. I think that this is by far, I mean, it's sold 40 million copies. So it's by far the most common introduction that people have to real estate investing. And the issue with this is it opens up our minds to the idea, but it doesn't show us how to get deals. It doesn't show us. Right? It is educational. It is not instructional. Remember, anything that you watch or listen to, whether it be a YouTube video, whether it be a podcast, whether it be somebody speaking live on stage, you have to put it through the filter. Is this entertainment? Is this education? Or is this instruction? What I want to give you today is instruction so that you can go out and get your deal, your first deal, if it is, in the next 30 days. But it all starts, I'm telling you, 80% of brand new real estate investors get their first deals from Driving for Dollars. It's an absolute fact. I've coached thousands across the country. I am telling you, most of the time, 80% of the time, it comes from Driving for Dollars. So that has to be part of your schedule. That's really, really important. All right. But before I get into kind of the nuts and bolts of the schedule, and we're going to open this wide open for a lot of questions. So let's just go, let's have a lot of fun and bring a lot of energy here. But I think the real question you have to ask yourself is, how would you treat today, right? We're only guaranteed today. Yesterday's gone. Tomorrow's not guaranteed. It's probably going to be there, hopefully, but we can only focus on today. How would you treat today if you knew you could not fail in this business? Because I am telling you, I will never be the Olympic high jump champion. Okay. Physically, I'm just not able to do it. It's just not going to happen. I'm never going to be a rocket scientist, right? Like, just fundamentally, intellectually, it's just not going to happen. I'm just being honest with you right now. But I am telling you, I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're tall, short. I don't care what your background is. I don't care where you come from, whatever it is. Everybody can do this business. And I am being absolutely sincere. I have seen it across the board. There is not a single determinant factor from people's past to be successful in this business. Everybody can do it. Anybody can do it. I am telling you, if you listen to what we talk about today on this show, webinar, whatever you want to call it, you will be successful. Because the fact is this, and I think that everybody on here will agree with this. If you have enough quality conversations with distressed property owners, you will find opportunities. I don't think there's a single person on here that goes, no, you know what? If I have really great conversations with people that own really beat up houses, it'll never work for me. That would never cross your mind, because it's an absolute fact. If you have enough quality conversations, you will win. So how do you do that? Well, we have to build up a lot of courage, right? We have to have a lot of courage, because we weren't taught to talk to strangers, right? We weren't taught to just go on and open up conversations with people about real estate. So we have to develop some skills. We have to develop the skill of lead generation. We have to develop the skills of lead follow-up. We need to develop the skills of pre-qualifying. We need to develop the skills of presenting an offer to a property owner. We need to develop the skills of negotiating. We need to develop the skills of understanding what exit strategy do we want. Are we wholesaling? Are we fix and flipping? Are we buying this to keep this, to rent it? Are we going to go after a property to develop it? Do we want to be the bank? Do we want to be the finance person behind all these? All of these things are skills that we can develop, but it takes time. It takes some time. It takes some time to replace our current income. It takes some time to be able to pay off consumer debts, so that the profits that we make off of our real estate actions are not just going straight to the bank or straight to some interest payment that we have, so that we can start building absolute true wealth. So that's what we're talking about today. And that all comes down to, what are you going to do today? Because I am telling you, if you follow this schedule, I have one for full-time and I've got one for part-time. I got it. A lot of people here are in the military, or they've got full-time jobs, or they've got kids running around like crazy people. Trust me, I'm in that world. You know, there's a lot of different things pulling at us, a lot of different responsibilities that we're responsible for. But I'm telling you, if you follow this schedule, you will be successful, and you're going to start building your real estate business really based on something strong and fundamental, and something that you can do over and over and over and over, and really make a huge impact on not only your lives, but the lives of the people that you influence. Because the fact is, the more successful that you become, the more you become a magnet to everybody, all your loved ones that want to be around you. And all of a sudden they go, wait a second, you're a real estate investor now? You can't do that. You don't know anything about real estate. You don't have any money. And then all of a sudden, 6 months later, when you are balling out and closing deals and walking around with your head held high and having a lot of confidence, all of a sudden, here comes all your friends and family. Hey, what are you doing? Can you explain it to me? Can you teach me how to do it? Happens every time. So I'm telling you, follow this path and you will be successful. Matt, will you put up the schedule, please?
Yeah, I can't wait to see the schedule.
Here we go. Okay.
Full time.
Can you guys, so this is the perfect schedule for full time. All right. Now this part is interesting, because the first thing from 8:30 to 9 a.m. that I want you to do is practice and role play. The fact there are certain hurdles that stop us from taking action in our real estate business. And some of those hurdles are, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say to people when I talk to them about real estate. I don't have experience in it. My family wasn't in real estate. I don't know what to say. So because of that, you need to be able to practice what to say. And we'll give you all of those guides and downloads and stuff at the end. So stick around, but knowing what to say with the scripts, right? Knowing how to open up a conversation with a stranger and talk to them about a piece of property, a piece of real estate that they own. Not only that, but the things that get us petrified are sometimes when we do have that courage, when we do have that bravery, and we do start making calls, all of a sudden we get objections from these property owners that make us buffer. right? We're just buffering, you know, like that spinning wheel, the spinning wheel of death on your computer, right? You're just constantly, you're kind of like, what is going on, right? I don't know exactly how to respond. And that's why you need to get the speed and accuracy, and that comes from practice. All right. Speed and accuracy comes from practice, and that's going to help you. So the first part is to practice and role play. The second part, you got to be generating leads. You got to be generating leads. This is your time to reach out to those driving for dollars leads that we all have. We're all here because of DealMachine, the most powerful driving for dollars the system ever created. And so this is our time where we're reaching out. I always prefer to make sure that our lead generation is done in the morning, because I believe that the morning is built for finding deals. The afternoon is built for doing deals. All right. And plus, you guys know as well as I do, life's responsibilities start piling up in the afternoon. So let's get this out of the way. Let's get the lead generation out of the way. We're calling, we're texting, we're door knocking, we're doing whatever we can to be proactive and to reach out and have a quality conversation with a distressed property owner. All right. Am I going too fast, David? I'm trying to pack this in so that we can get a lot of questions answered. Hope I'm not like going too fast.
Yeah, no, I love it. So one thing I wanted to point out, 9 to noon is lead generation. 1 to 5 also has driving for dollars. You drive for dollars 9 to noon, right? And if you don't have any leads to follow up, then you're driving for dollars again in the evening.
Yeah, you're generating leads. I mean, you are generating leads in the morning. I mean, that's when you are talking to people, right? So you want to be building up you want to build your list up so that you have enough people to talk to in that 3-hour block. Okay. And if you're using a dialer to call them, if you're going out door knocking or whatever else, you can generate leads and drive for dollars at the same time. If you don't want to make the calls, you want to door knock. But I suggest that most people just pick up the phone and have a nice conversation with that property owner. All right. In a nice air conditioned room. Because we're in Phoenix right now, it's like a bazillion degrees outside. To go door knocking, I mean, you'll melt. I've done it. I'm telling you. So quick little lunch at noon to 12:15. That's your lunch, right? We don't need our lunches. Our lunches are for W-2 employees, because our lunches are like your time to decompress and to not think about work and to go on TikTok and to eat something and chat it up and do all that. But we just have a quick lunch and we are back at it, following up with our leads from 12:15 to 1. And then from 1 to 5 o'clock is the open time. Hopefully you've got appointments to go to or deals that you need to negotiate with your cash buyers. If not, then you're hitting the streets and you're getting those driving for dollars leads so that you can keep going. All right.
Love it. Let's see that part-time schedule.
Part-time schedule here. And this, you're going to have to fit into your life. All right. I don't have this put out by times, because listen, I'm realistic here. Some people can only do it during their lunch, after work, and on weekends. I get it. But you got to find 20 hours out of the 168 hours that we all have every single week to commit to this business. And I'm telling you, 15 hours of that are lead generation, 1 hour practice and role play, 1 hour lead follow-up, 1 hour driving for dollars, 2 hours appointments, driving for dollars, and lead follow-up. And obviously you see that you could build up to, a part-time 3 hours of driving for dollars if you don't have that big of a list.
Totally. What's the number of properties like per hour are you seeing as like a normal benchmark
for driving for dollars?
Yeah.
It depends on the area. It's really interesting. Some areas were built, before the 1900s, and there's a lot. I mean, you could get 50, 60, 70 in an hour, right? You can get a whole neighborhood, right? But if you're living in an area that's built, in the 90s, 2000 and beyond, a lot of these are governed by HOAs. A lot of them are gated, right? Like they're going to be in decent shape. So you want to target the areas that are older. All right. Because the likelihood that the wear and tear on those properties needs significant rehab, that's where we find our best deals.
Yep.
That's where we find our best deals.
One question I hear frequently is that people don't know where to drive. They won't get in their car and drive for dollars because they want to know where to drive. What is your advice to them when you get that
Google
question?
map it. Literally go on your computer, Google map it, look at the aerial view, get the satellite, and then just zoom in. Where's the areas that are the oldest, right? Typically it's like smaller lots, smaller houses. You know, typically there's like, you know, you can see that there's signs of distress in the area, right? There's vacant pool. I mean, there's empty pools, or there's, you know, a lot of trees and brush all piled up. You know what I mean? That's what you're looking for. You're looking for the older areas, and then just, okay, there's the area, pick an address in there, put it in there, and you're off and running. Or you could virtually drive for $1.
Yep. So guys, Brent's giving you the full-time and the part-time schedule. Now I want to hear your questions. What questions do you guys have for Brent? Go ahead and type them in the chat, and we're going to be picking the best questions and bringing them on to Ask Live.
I love it. And if you just want to rattle off some, all right, here we go. So you're going to bring people on to like chat it up.
That's right.
Love it.
So we got Turi Wilson joining in. Turi, if you can hear us, I'm going to ask you to unmute and turn on the video camera. Hi, Turi.
Hi.
Hi, Turi.
I'm in bed. Hi. Are we asking questions now? Or?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's right.
Thank you also for the live. I really appreciate it. I wanted to know, what's the best way to wholesale a property that has a tax lien on it?
Yeah, listen, you know, typically what you're looking for, Turi, is just to make sure that there's enough equity in the deal. Okay. So what you want to look at is what is the value of this property? If it is totally pristine, if it's fixed up, if it is beautiful, what is the ARV, right? The after repaired value. Okay. All right. You're starting there. You're starting with, okay, this is the value of the property. Now you look at what's owed on the property. Right? If it's a tax, if there's a tax lien on it, how big is that tax lien? How much, is it 2,000? Is it 4,000? Is it 20,000? You just got to make sure that the liens on the property are not more than what you think you could sell it to an investor for. And then they put it into, then they fix it up. They put all their rehab costs into it and then make a profit. So can you get me on here, Matt? So this is the equation I want you to use, Turi. You ready?
Okay. Yes.
Where do you live?
I live in Palm Beach County.
Oh, fantastic. So you've got a good average price point there. I highly suggest everybody on here focus on the properties that once they're fixed up, sell for more than $150,000. Okay. I really suggest that, because if you don't, the deals are going to be much, much, much smaller. Much smaller. And the amount of effort that is the same for going after properties that will sell for more than 150 than the properties that will sell for less. Okay.
Okay.
So this is the equation I want you to look at, Turi, right here. You've got this mic. Can you guys hear me on this?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay.
Yes.
So you've got ARV, right? This is, oh, geez, what happened here? This is, yeah, I know I did. Fixed up value. Fixed up. Okay. And then you're going to times this. I want you to times this by 0.84. Okay. 0.84. Now, a lot of places suggest that this should be 0.7. Don't listen to them. All right. And I'll explain why. This is 10% is the profit for the investor. Okay. And then 6% is the closing costs.
Okay.
Okay. So that's the 0.84. And then you're going to minus the repairs. Okay. So depending on the condition of the property, depending on the size of the property, this is going to vary. Okay. But I've got a lot on my YouTube channel breaking down like how much repairs each property should be based on the square footage. So you can look at that. And so that's the price that an investor will buy a property at. That would be the wholesale price.
Okay.
Okay. And then from there, you subtract how much you want to make. You want to make $15K each deal. Then you subtract that. And then that is your offer price.
Brian, do you have like a percentage that you suggest when deciding what you want to make per deal?
I'll make it even easier. So this is like the formal way, Turi. What I would suggest is this. When you're looking at it, if the property is worth, if you look at it and the Zillow is over 250,
Okay.
if it's over 250,000, and I know I'm going all over the place, but 250,000 times it by 0.66, and that should be about the range that you're going to sell that property at.
Okay.
If it's under 250,
If it's under.
times it by 0.5.
Okay.
Right?
Right.
And that'll make it a lot easier. This is just once you get going and get it real, kind of understand more of the condition of the property and what's going on with it, you can start using this.
Okay. Thank you.
You got it. So the question is, with the tax lien, it doesn't matter, Turi, because if it has a tax lien, all liens get paid off once somebody buys that property. Okay. You just got to make sure that that offer price that was at the bottom there is more than what the liens are for that property.
Okay.
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 Do you have, David, do you have liens in DealMachine? Lien amount?
Lien comes through. Yeah.
Does it show the like a projected equity amount?
It does show the projected equity amount.
There you go. So Turi, right there, use the app. Just make sure that you've got enough equity in there based on what you want to offer, and you're rocking and rolling. Remember, when it comes to getting discounted properties, you need equity and you need them to be motivated, right?
Okay.
We need motivated property owners, and they need to have equity. And that's where you find great deals. That's obviously not creative financing deals. That's a whole different subject. This is just straight. I want to get you guys deals and get you paychecks faster. So I'm just talking about either wholesaling or flipping.
Okay. Thank you.
You got it.
Thanks, Turi. Great question.
Welcome.
All right. So the next person is Jared Ellis. Brent, did you like talking to him face to face like that? Is that a new thing that we started since our last webinar?
No, I think we did it last time. I love it.
Cool.
Yeah. There's a lot of questions and I feel like we need to get through all of them, but I like this better. We'll just, whoever's picking it, let's go.
Oh yeah. It's
Hey,
Gerard, right? Is it
Yeah, Gerard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen you on the last webinar.
Yes, absolutely. How you doing, Brent?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing all right, man. I had a question. How should I delegate to the positions in the wholesaling business?
Well, where are you at? How many deals are you doing?
Well, I'm doing like 1 to 2 a month.
Okay.
So I was curious to how I should, where should I plug people in at? Because
you're coming in and out.
Can you hear me now?
That's better. Yeah.
So I was curious because I know how to do everything. I was curious to how do I, put people in position, correctly, because I want to delegate and, spread the tasks out. How do I do that?
Well, a couple different things. So, how are you getting your deals right now? Is it marketing or is it prospecting? Is it texting? How are you getting them?
Marketing, cold calling, mailers.
Love it. And you're taking all those calls?
I have a virtual assistant for the cold calling, but other than that, yes, I'm taking those majority of those calls.
Which part of the business do you hate the most?
Understanding if it's a deal or not.
Okay. Comping?
Yes.
Okay. So what you'd probably want to do is, I will refer you. Do you have the diagram of my team? Can you put that up? I'm going to show you my exact team and what I pay them, Gerard. All right.
Perfect.
Because that's going to really show you. But remember, I've been doing this for a long time, and our business we're at about 900,000 for the year. And
nice.
So we'll probably get to that 1.5, 1.6, 1.7. So don't take this as you need to implement this right now, but you can pick and choose which one that you want. What I would suggest is just based on your custom, where you're at and customizing this for you, I would look at probably either a disposition person. You've got it? Okay. Well, let's put this up. A disposition. You see this here? Can you guys see this?
Yep.
Okay, great. Just keep me on here. We'll get to Jeremy. So you can see that's me looking good, looking awesome, arms crossed. All right. If you guys go all the way to the one where it's 3 in a row, those are my phone prospectors. All right. They're absolute superstars. I pay them $20 an hour, which everybody thinks is a lot, but I'm telling you, they get me massive deals. All right. But everything, Gerard, is run by my lead manager there, Jackie. All right. She pulls the lists. She organizes the prospectors. Every lead that comes in, she reviews to make sure that they are pre-qualified and quality leads. And then she gets it over to my acquisition managers. All right.
Okay.
And so you'll see there, I've got a junior acquisition manager and an acquisition manager there. And the junior acquisition manager, that might be, I don't know. Not yet. You can get to that. But my junior acquisition manager basically gets all the new leads, does all the lead follow-up, and shortens the timeline to when they're ready to close a deal. And then it gets to Ryan, my acquisition manager, and he closes them. Okay.
So does Ryan do the comping in that case?
No, Jeremy does, the disposition manager. And that's what I'm getting to here.
Okay.
So Jeremy is in charge of every day he's building my cash buyer list. Every day, get rid of me. Yeah. Every day he is selling our deals and he's comping everything that comes in that's getting close. So my acquisition managers and Jeremy, my disposition manager there, they're in constant communication to know what to offer that seller. All right. So Jeremy's an analytical mind. He loves breaking things down. He likes looking for opportunities. And he does a phenomenal job.
Perfect. That's awesome. Thank you so much.
So what I would say, listen, here's the thing. There's like 17 steps to a wholesaling transaction. You got to determine where you want to start replacing yourself first. If you want to know those 17 steps, on my YouTube channel, I've got it. It's probably the most watched video. It's like step-by-step how to wholesale. And you can like literally write down those 17 steps and just determine where you want to replace yourself first. You know what I'm saying? But just
yes, I do.
Make sure that you have a lot of reserves. Make sure that you've got a lot of leads coming in before you hire somebody, because the more people you hire, remember, you have their financial future in your hands, right? So,
right.
And truly something that you'll learn is you work for them. I mean, they might be they might be swinging the hammer, right? But you're the one that's giving them the opportunity to swing that hammer. So you got to be the rainmaker. You got to be the motivator. You got to be the leader. You've got to make sure that they've always got fresh opportunities coming their way. That's our responsibility as business owners in our real estate business.
Perfect. Okay. So yeah, also on top of that, of course, paying them handsomely, you know.
Yeah. And you don't have to do the base like I do. I like the base because I found when I give them a base, they stay longer, don't start their own businesses.
That's the word that I had. So I guess I have to get to a certain point where I got you. I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You got it.
Thanks for joining in 2 weeks in a row, Gerard.
I'm going to keep on coming. Y'all giving good stuff, man. Great stuff. It's awesome.
Yeah, check out that channel. I think that you'll get a lot of instruction there.
Yeah. Perfect, man. Thank you so much, David. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So next up, we've got Javier Cruz. If you can hear me, I'm going to ask you to unmute and turn on your video.
Javier, can you put my full name?
Here you go.
Javier.
How are you, sir?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Where are you calling in from, Javier?
I'm in Orlando, Florida.
Okay, great. And how many deals are you at?
I'm averaging about 10 in a month. I have a good team behind me.
Love it.
Fantastic.
Yes.
You want to take this over and answer the questions? You're killing it, brother.
I am. I got a good team. Just it looks kind of like yours, but not paying them. They pay themselves.
Okay.
What's like the biggest pain point for you right now in your business, Javier?
Time.
Okay, what do you mean by that?
Well, I wish that they had a little bit more time. You know, you gotta kind of balance it out a little bit to deal with family and business. So time, just
got it. So you're wanting to spend more time with your family, and everybody's a little bit overworked.
That's correct.
Got it.
But it's good, and see, you know, this is a good season. Moratoriums is lifting down here in Florida and in a lot of other places. So sometimes that happens. So we have to kind of weigh that and adjust.
Yeah. Well, Brent, what advice do you have for monitoring, you know, the time? I know you had shared some schedules that ended at 5 o'clock. I noticed.
Yeah, I mean, it just Javier, in your business, what takes up your time right now?
Evaluating, analyzing.
Yeah.
It's just you know, when you're doing wholesaling, you have to deal with your end buyers. So they kind of set particular criterias, and sometimes it's kind of hard to meet. So then to juggle into your list according to what you have in hand is what makes the difference. So
yeah. Well, do you have a disposition manager?
I do, yes.
Are they comping your deals?
Yes.
Okay. So what do you do all day?
I do the analysis a lot of times.
Like exit strategy analysis, like what to do with the properties that you guys are going after?
That's correct. And
yep.
Because my team is growing, I don't only work in Florida. I kind of take on some other states where things move a little faster. I kind of like working in the non-judicial states.
Oh yeah.
And so it takes time for me to work with these new people. There's a lot of opportunity out there, so I'm willing to share my knowledge so that my team can grow. If I can duplicate me somewhere else, then things will get better.
Yeah, I think that's the key. You know, you just look at the way that you analyze deals and just determine, what do you want to do? Do you want to keep this deal? Do you want to wholesale this deal? Do you want to flip this deal? What do you want to do? Teach somebody how to build how to do that and filter that. And that's going to free up a lot of your time.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Free up a lot of your time. But also, you know, it also just depends on, you know, are you getting sleep? Are you exercising? Are you, you know, taking care of yourself? Are you, you know, is everybody reaching out to you? Are you like the only guy that like everybody brings their problems to? Can you bring in somebody like I did with Jackie, that's a lead manager, where everybody goes to her so that that they can get things done, not to me. So I think it's just, you know, training somebody up at the daily tasks that you have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I'm going to take that because that I think that would be the most important thing I do at this point, because I do need to delegate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was scared, Javier. I was like, nobody pulls lists better than me. Nobody comps properties better than me. Nobody knows how to evaluate these opportunities more than me. And I was completely flat out wrong. Totally wrong.
Yeah, it's the responsibility sometimes that we have to meet our end buyers' criteria. So we want to get it right the first time so that our time is efficient, you know, and proficient.
That's right. That's right.
But I appreciate all your videos, and I'm keeping an eye on you.
Thanks, Javier.
We're open here in Florida. If any of your groups are interested in properties right now, things are getting really busy.
I bet.
So you put a number up on that board, which is very impressive. I'm not up there. So if you see, if you know, so that you can have a number in mind, I'm at 50%.
Awesome.
So I'm buying property at 50%. So there's good profit at the end.
That's awesome. Got it. Thanks, Javier.
All right.
Thanks for joining, Javier. Hey, one thing that I wanted to share that was helpful for me when I felt like I had people, but my time was taking too much, is we need to implement training. We need to write down every little bit of that job before we opened a job position, because we were hiring people and then there wasn't like training laid out for them, so my time was sucked up, teaching everybody, coaching everybody, when in reality, there wasn't a written down detailed plan. So that might be helpful for those of you hiring. I know Gerard might be helpful. Try to write out exactly what they're going to do for like 2 weeks. It's like, it requires quite a bit of detail, but it's really helpful when they start.
Oh, absolutely.
Randy, how you doing, sir?
Good. How are you? Can you hear me?
Yeah, doing really good. Where are you calling in from?
Calling in from Las Vegas. Done DealMachine for about 3 years now, and we had 2 wholesales, and we just got a 4-plex a couple of months ago. So
that's awesome. Congrats. That's in the Las Vegas market as well.
Yes. So,
awesome. Are you doing cold calling?
Yes, we're doing cold calling, but not consistently. We get people to drop off, but I'm getting more people in the shoots to make those calls along with my assistant.
Love it. Are you guys wholesaling, or did you keep that 4-plex and single family as a rental?
We wholesaled the single families, but the 4-plex definitely we're holding. I mean, it's right next to the strip, so it's a whole area that's gentrifying. So yeah, awesome. I'm very, very excited about it. So
what's the number one question you have for Brent today?
I guess the number one question listening in was the other things, but my original question was, I have like around 4,000 leads in DealMachine, but as far as recycling them, I already touched them maybe 6-7 times, whether that be, text, call, cold calling, whatever, mailers. But what do you do with those after? Do you continue marketing to them, or how do you guys deal with that?
Yeah. Let me ask you this, Randy. Who's making your calls?
I have a guy actually my assistant, myself, and somebody in the Philippines, one person in the Philippines.
Okay. And you guys, are you doing real estate full time?
Yes.
Okay. And so when you're calling, what does your schedule look like when you personally are calling?
Pretty similar to what you were suggesting as far as hitting it up in the morning. Consistent? No, I'll be honest. No. Yeah. I would say it like, I hit those 2-month periods where it's just like, whoa, what happened this last 2 months, Yep. So, but I'll do it. I'm just trying to work on the consistency.
Number one, I would say you've got a time block in your schedule to make the calls, especially in Vegas. I am telling you, if you go, Randy, I'm telling you, if you were making the calls and having those conversations with a driving for dollars list, you're going to get way more opportunities than if you just hire somebody. So the way that it works is you are going to be the best. You are going to be the most effective. After that, having somebody in your office that makes the calls for you, like literally that's in your world, like you see all the time, will be about 50% as good as you. Then callers, American callers living abroad or living wherever, living down the street or whatever, are about 20% as good as you. And a foreign caller is going to be 5% as good as you. 5%. So they have to talk to 20 times more people. And the issue with that, Randy, is they're burning through your best leads. So you're going through that, and yes, they've called it 3, 4, 5, 6 times. But if you would have got them on the phone, if you would have talked to them, it would have been 20 times more effective. So you really got to look at your schedule, have an honest, hard look at your schedule, and find when you can make sustainable efforts, because that is the most important thing, is sustainability. Because the fact is, what is it, David? 1 out of how many in major markets should be a deal from driving for dollars?
We always say minimum 300.
Right.
In Vegas, maybe it's 500, a little bit more higher price point there. But yep. If you've taken 300 driving for dollars leads and you have reached out to them 6 times, like you said, that should be about a deal. So 4,000 divided by 300. I'll do the math here.
Well,
you should have like 8 deals.
Probably closer to 500, Randy, to be honest. Yeah. I mean, you're pretty, 500. We've got pretty close markets when it comes to price points. And, Vegas just truly isn't a very old city. So you kind of run into a certain amount of, these are all new communities. Are they, going to fit into our driving for dollars criteria? So, you got to maybe expand it out a little bit into some of the older areas if there's cash buyers there. But if not, then you just go through it. And what we do is we just recycle our driving for dollars lists every 6 months. And that's after we've called through them twice. We call through them twice and then move on and keep adding.
Okay. Okay. So you called through twice and then move on them. Okay. Got it. Got it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Because here's the thing, the drop off, the contact rate drop off after the second time that you call through the list is bananas. First time you call through a list, you're getting 8% contact rate. Second time through, you're getting 5%. Third time through, you're getting like 0.5%. So you've got people that you're paying hourly to talk to like one person an hour. You know what I mean? It's just not going to get you there.
I know what you mean.
Yep.
Thanks, man. Take care. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks, Randy.
All right. See you, Randy. So while Elise is bringing the next person on, I wanted to clarify, if you've called the list twice, you'd never talk to him again.
We call through the list twice. We recycle that in 6 months.
Oh, okay. Got it. That was the part I missed.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Awesome.
Let's see here.
Any resources? Can I just tell them where to go for downloads and scripts and stuff? Because there's been some questions over there. The most effective scripts are at TTP, right? TTPinsider.com. I'm telling you, we have there are programs that people charge like 40 grand and we've got more information for free. It's absolutely free. You can get the downloads, you can get in there, and we've got some free courses and some really great stuff in there. Obviously centered strongly around DealMachine because it's the most effective. So ttpinsider.com. We'll put the link down here. Also put the link to the YouTube channel just in case people need, is that cool, David?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Jam is probably going to put the link in there. There it is.
Well, I think somebody asked for it and she put your link to your channel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Jam, that message you sent, it just went to panelists. I'm not sure if that's true for all your messages, but there's a little drop down. You have to change it to also send to attendees. All right. So we've got Aaliyah. Did I say your name right?
Aaliyah.
Yes. I'm well. How about yourself?
Really good. Good to see you. Where are you calling in from?
From St. Matthews, South Carolina.
All right.
Awesome.
So tell us how many deals you've done, what your question is, and we'd love to help.
So I'm actually new to it. Okay. And I've been finding a lot of homes that's off market. Right now I'm working with one. The owner is deceased, but the home is kind of caught up in a mortgage company. So trying to get that one out. But my question is, because I have been speaking with a few owners who they have realtors. The realtors, they want the highest point. Mm-hmm. I'm not trying to go for the highest because we know these homes aren't worth anything. So how do I kind of get through the whole working with the realtor? The realtor won't even let me speak with the owner so that I can finally get a deal.
Aaliyah, are you calling or talking to these people from your Driving for Dollars?
I kind of been just riding around and, searching their information, then kind of get redirected to the real estate agent.
So these are properties that are run down and they say, talk to my real estate agent?
Yes.
So what you need to do is cut right to the chase and say, listen, I would love to work with you, real estate agent. I'd love to buy this property. What price are they asking? Right?
Right.
Try to pull out a price out of them right away. And then if we can agree on the price and the terms, are you willing to represent me as well? Or are you just representing the seller? Right.
Okay.
And you can say, listen, I don't want any of your commission. I want you to keep the full commission with your relationship with the listing agent. I want you to make as much as you can on this, Mr. or Mrs. Agent, but how much do they want? Right? Okay. Start pulling that out. If they don't know, if they're not being realistic, if they're like, we want retail, and you say, okay, well, what remodeling have they done to the kitchen and bathrooms in the last 5 years? And they say nothing. And you say, so this property needs significant renovation. Yes. And the price that they want is this. Yes. Okay. I'd like to offer 50% of that. I'd like you to present that offer to them. If they say they want 150,000, I'd like to present an offer of 75,000 and just see what they do. You know what I mean? Like, see if they represent it or just see if they just have too high of expectations. Remember, Aaliyah, we are not deal creators. We are deal finders. Okay. You're not going to convince anybody to sell at a discount. What you're going to do is you are going to call somebody up and you're going to try to get 4 things out of them. The 4 pillars of pre-qualifying any seller or whatever, their agents to get it. And this is a question that was on the sideline, how to pre-qualify and understand if this is a lead. 1 is the condition of the property. Right. And I do these in order because this opens up the conversation. People are more likely to talk to you about the condition of their property than they are about their emotions, right? Or their schedule. So start with the condition of the property. Second is their timeline to sell that property. When, you know, Mr. and Mrs. Seller or Mr. and Mrs. Agent, you know, typically I can close these in 14 to 30 days. Does that work for you if you get your money in 30 days? Oh, no. We can't sell till next year or whatever, right? You need to know the timeline. You need to know their motivation. Why do they want to sell this property? They have to have a problem that a cash offer will solve. People will trade equity or potential equity in their property for speed and convenience. All right. So you need to know what is their problem. Aaliyah, if they don't have a problem, if they can just let that thing rot for the next 10 years, you got to move on. You got to find somebody that wants to solve their problem. They have a problem and a cash offer will solve it. And then the 4th one is their price. What is the price that they're willing to go for? And don't worry if a few people are telling you way more than they want. We get that 95% of the time, but the other 5%, you get people that are reasonable and people that want to get out of that property. So it's going through a lot of rejection. It's going through a lot of uncomfortable conversations because they're so far away. Hey, listen, I can't even get close to that price, but I'm willing to offer a cash on this property for 40,000, but we want 180. I'm willing to offer 40,000 based on its condition. Whatever. No, we'll never take it. Great. Best of luck to you. Move on. You know?
Yeah, makes sense.
Reps.
So let me ask you one more question.
Yeah.
I do have a proof of funds. A lot of real estate agents ask for that. Do you think I should just avoid real estate agents altogether though?
I don't mind them. They make you jump through a lot more hoops. I would say as you're getting started out, it just depends. I don't think that it's like, you know, I work with a lot of real estate agents. I've had my license for a long time. And I think that there's a intimidation when it comes to speaking with real estate agents that isn't really real. I mean, what did they do? They went to class for 90 hours, literally 90 hours, and took 2 tests. That's their only difference between them and you. You know what I mean? Maybe some experience, but most of them don't know investing. Most of them aren't sitting on a panel learning how to, you know, buy discounted properties. You know what I mean? So I think that you should go with confidence with them and throw out the offer. If they're not willing to take it, then move on. It's no different than talking to a property owner.
Okay. Thanks. You're the best. Don't ever let anyone tell you any less.
Thank you. You too.
Okay.
I like that little motivation at the end there.
I like the shimmy.
How many of your total deals in your company have come from like a listed property?
Oh, very, very little. If it's listed, if it's on the market here, there's no way. There's no way. So, Brian, number 3, it's condition of property, timeline to sell, motivation to sell, and price. Those are the 4 pillars. All right. And guys, it's like literally just TTP Insider. You're going to get, your face is going to be blown off. All these questions that you have are going to be, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, I found it. I'm not joking. I'm really proud of it. It's really incredible, but go ahead. We got Mark on here.
Hey, Mark.
Hello.
Hey, how are you? Where are you calling in from?
Central Florida, Polk County.
Okay.
Halfway between Tampa and Orlando.
Okay, got it. Are you wholesaling? Or are you looking for a first wholesale deal?
Oh, I guess that's my question is, when do you know when to wholesale and when to not? I've mostly been a fix and flipper. I think I wholesaled one property back in 2004 because it was just too far to drive from the house. But everything I do is I just take title to it, and clean it up a little bit like lipstick on a pig. But how do you know when it's just time to go ahead and wholesale something? What makes it a wholesalable property versus something you're going to take and do something with it?
I love it. It's just your own personal, what you want to do with it. I always look at it, Mark, if I can't make double what I can wholesale it for, I'm not even going to touch it as a flip. And I also have kind of a $25,000 cap on what I'm willing to put into a property to renovate it. But I also know, Mark, listen, I've done close to 100 flips, 1,400 wholesales, and wholesaling is just a better life. I mean, it's just,
yeah, I'd have to look at that.
Fun.
We're having such a hard time here. I've also run a general contracting business and a roofing business and an air conditioning business. And you would think with all that work going on, I could find somebody to get the trash out of my house. And, that's getting hard to do.
It is. It is. Listen, like you've got all those other things that you're running. And you would think that you would have a strong advantage. You probably have a much stronger advantage than most people to doing flips. It just depends on if you want to do them. I like getting paid and just moving on and giving it to people that really love. Like my problem, Mark, is I go into like this tornado of picking out paint colors and flooring and design elements and cabinets and all these fixtures and all this other stuff. And I know that you can, after a while, you can kind of format that and just kind of build the same house over and over and over, but it just drove me crazy. And then I was worried about things getting broken into. I was worried about people showing up. It was just a lot of mess. Instead, and I looked at it, Mark, and I was like, on my flips, I'm getting like $35K after everything done. Well, right now in our wholesaling business in Phoenix, we're making $38,000 a wholesale. So it's like, it doesn't, it just makes a lot more sense for us to just move them to somebody that has a true passion for the renovations. And it's just, it takes up no brain power. My brain's left over to do other things.
Well, a plug for DealMachine is that, what I was doing previously is doing pre-foreclosure and pre-tax properties that have lien challenges. And it's just the market's gotten so hot here is that the tax deed sale and wholesale is just another full retail market, and so it was just getting harder. And we were just dealing with people that weren't going to get anything out of the tax sale.
Right.
And that just kept getting harder and harder to do. So I signed up for DealMachine. I really worked on it pretty hard in the month of June. With my daughter was driving because she was off for college, and we did 73 leads. And out of the 73 leads, I had 10 undelivered cards back. I still going to hunt the people down, but we did get one lead that we took subject to.
Awesome.
And we're going to put about 15 in it. And I think we'll probably make somewhere between 50 and 75, something like that.
Love it. Yeah. I would just set it up so that, you've got it automatic. It sounds like you're sending out postcards instead of like hiring somebody to call them. So I'd be interested. I would be interested to see if you tested it out. If your daughter has some time still during the summer, if she's willing to pick up the phone and call some of these leads and see if they would consider an offer. I think you would get, the results would be interesting. I'd love to see the test.
Well, my son-in-law, he's a computer salesman. I might get him, but he did this for a while. We bought some properties before. My daughter, she picked up the phone once and she got some very nasty people on the phone and she's gave it up. But my son-in-law, he gets those nasty people on the phone. He turns them, so he's,
no problem. Well, they put him in, make him.
I'm looking at what you're paying your guys, and I think I just haven't been paying these guys enough money.
Yeah. I mean, if you want people to say, what I have found, Mark, is the longer that they've been with these people those callers have been with me for 3 years. Right. And that's like impossible in our business. Yes. And the reason is because one, they live in Costa Rica, not America. And there's just no employment in Costa Rica. It's a socialist country. So there's just not I mean, unless you're independently wealthy living in Costa Rica, you got to work a phone job. You do. It's either customer service or it's sales. And those people really get burnt out of customer service quickly. That's like the worst. So I found that they did a great job.
Well, I really appreciate that. I'm going to take a real hard look at what you're saying about the fix and flip versus the wholesale, because I've done some really long, hard remodels that really full of oopsies. And at the end of the day, I could have just picked up the phone and made $5,000 instead of putting 150,000 remodel in a job. And
exactly.
And, I
and
could
plus,
go pick.
Yep. I like, Friday nights, just totally like not worrying about what properties are doing what, like I like just not having it on my head, once I go home. So yeah.
Well, thank you very much. I'm have a look at that. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thanks for joining in, Mark. All right, we're going to do a lightning round of questions as we are getting to the top of the hour. So Elise, go ahead and add on a couple people at a time. That way we can get through them as quick as possible.
Actually, I already have them kind of listed out. Could I just kind of shoot them out instead of bring people on? Some people can't get on right now.
Yeah, go for it.
Multiple people have asked Brent, how many calls should they be making a day?
Well, it's not calls that I would say. I would say how much time you're putting into it. I would highly suggest whatever you need, whatever you have to do to get the budget to get a dialer, get a dialer. Because if you're hand dialing, you can only do a fraction of what computers can do. And it's not them making calls and talking. It dials for you. When somebody picks up, you're talking to them. So I highly, highly suggest that you look into a dialer for those calls. And then it's just how many hours you can put in. I like on a weekly basis, 15 hours minimum, so that you can get to this faster. And if you're doing it full time, I mean, you could really go, but I like going 15 hours minimum calls. And I don't track how many calls. I track how long you can make your calls, how many hours, how many contacts you make, how many leads you make, and how many deals you get from those leads.
Love it. Next question. If you wholesale locally and have some success, what would your advice be if that person was thinking about going virtual?
Have at least a year's worth of operating expenses put away before you go virtual. That's what I would say. At least a year. It's going to take you at least 6 months. It's going to take you at least 6 months to start building traction and feel real confident in an area. And understand. Now, listen, you could do a deal here and there, but if you're talking about literally expanding and really doing something special with your business, have at least a year saved up, and it's going to take you 6 months before you get into the rhythm, build up that cash buyer database, make sure that you understand if you're doing flips or whatever else, you get the right contractors and people, the right real estate agents, the right support staff for the, expanding into a different market.
All right. How do you show proof of funds with no money and low credit?
Well, a couple different things. Number one is if you were wholesaling, you're either telling them that you were a wholesaler or you're telling them that you are the buyer. And I will tell you, if you go in and explain that you were a wholesaler to a property owner, it might work. My best advice is if you're going to get into this business and really take it seriously, you need to squad up with either another wholesaler, another investor, a family member, whoever that has the money so that you are an actual buyer. Don't go and say I'm a cash buyer when you're not a buyer. That is lying. That is not right. That is not sustainable. So find somebody that can back you up and reach out to those. And you don't have to have the full amount, guys. You can have just a certain amount and go to a private money. Just literally Google hard money lender and find somebody that'll give you a letter of credit from their hard money lender because they know that you have the ability to do it. So that's what I would do.
Awesome.
And by the way, Jerry Norton, I think for $100 has a proof of funds letter thing.
Awesome. Beth wants to know how to make an offer when I don't know what the repair cost will be.
Well, it just depends, right? So I would highly suggest you go and watch on the Brent Daniels YouTube channel, the video that's called the perfect offer presentation. And that's going to give you a breakdown, a scale, or get it in TTP Insider of what the breakdown looks like based on the size and condition of the property. And there's some properties that are okay. There's some properties that are like, this needs some love. And then there's some properties that are like, oh my gosh, is that a dead cat, or something, just something crazy in there, so sorry, David. I know that hits hard with you.
All right. I want to hit one more before. What is the best way to vet your buyers?
When you blast it out, make sure that they deposit $5,000 non-refundable earnest money with the title company or closing attorney as soon as possible. Okay? As soon as possible. That's
Like
because most people that are fake, they don't have the 5,000. They're not going to risk it. They're not going to put it up there. So make sure that they have 5,000 non-refundable. And if you really want to know, go talk to the top title companies and ask them who are the buyers that are closing the most. And those are the relationships that you want to start with. And pull some data on the properties that are being bought cash. And you know that they bought them cash.
All right, I know it's 8 o'clock, but can I have one more question for you, Brent?
Let's do it. It's only 5
okay.
here, baby. Suns don't go
yeah.
for an hour, so.
Jose wants to ask, when you do have a team like this, are things set up under an umbrella like an LLC, or how exactly is all of that working?
Yeah, I mean, talk to an accountant. I mean, yes, everything I do is under an LLC. Am I an accountant? Am I a tax advisor? No. So I would say every single company that I put together cost me $150 with my CPA. He made sure, what do you want? Who's the owners? What's the operating agreement? All that. It's done in 30 minutes. And then he files it, gets it done, sends it back. And I've got an LLC. You then turn that into the IRS. You get a EIN number, which allows you, that's where, you report the taxes for that business. And now you can open up bank accounts. And now you have a bank account with a company and you got an EIN and you're off and running. And hopefully that bank account is filled up with a lot of the income that you make from helping out distressed property owners in your market. Remember, 6 to 10% of the real estate market. This is absolute fact. 6 to 10% of the real estate market is in distress at all times. There are 11 million properties in the United States that have been vacant for over a year. 11 million. That is from the 2020 census, right? 2020 census, 11 million over. There's plenty more that have been vacant for less than that, but there are so many opportunities. I am telling you guys, if you're just getting into this and people are like, oh, you can't do it. It's too congested. It's too much competition. It's really getting hot. It's crazy. Listen to me. I have been hearing that since 2013, 2012. I've been hearing that you can't do this since 2012. There's too many people doing it since 2012 and I've crushed it since then. So don't listen to the noise. Don't listen to the noise. Oh boy.
Wow, that's a throwback picture.
That is a throwback picture. Oh, gosh. Look at that. That's great. That's hilarious.
Guys, be sure to follow Brent on Instagram and check out his website. He's got a new URL. It's just ttp.com as well. But
no, talk to people. Talk to people.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah, but honestly, the best thing to do, guys, 1 is the YouTube channel. 2 is ttpinsider.com. A ton of free resources. We keep adding to that. You got a toolbox of everything you need to do to get your first deal for sure.
And Jam is
and go from there.
That, in the chat. So thank you guys so much. Stick around for a demo. Thank you, Brent, for your time tonight. And
I love you guys. It's an incredible business. I'm telling you, there are not a lot of people that do this business that are interested in what we do. And so we need to squad up and support each other. It is not competition. It is collaboration always. So squad up with people and be loud. Document what you're doing. Let everybody know that you are comping a property or driving for dollars or whatever else. You don't have to be flashing around in anything fancy. Just document your day and people are going to get interested. And then all of a sudden they start sending you referrals for properties that are beat up. And you start getting free deals. So be loud. Don't be shy. Squad up with people in the community. Go to TTP Insider for sure. Love you guys.
Thanks, Brent. Really appreciate it.
See you, David.
All right. See ya. And now, Elise, are you down to do this demo with me?
I'm ready, Freddie.
All right. Do you guys in the chat, do you guys want us to do a quick demo of DealMachine? Let us know.
I actually do have a poll question that I was going to do in the beginning, but we got rolling. But I'd love for anybody who wants to answer this really quick, just to know where y'all are at with DealMachine before we get into this demo. Is that all right? Awesome. Thanks, guys. I always love this. I feel so like pumped. Awesome. Welcome, DealMachine fam. Some of you that are maybe not with us yet, please do ask your questions throughout this demo. We're happy to help. And some of you that are on the fence as well.
Yeah. Love the questions. Do you have another question, or is it just the one?
It's just the one. So you go right ahead and dive on in.
All right, let's dive in. So DealMachine offers 2 core plans, and you can have one or the other or both. It's driving for dollars and it's list builder. So Brent was talking a lot about driving for dollars. That's the first one we're going to dig into. But I also wanted to take a moment and say every plan inside DealMachine also includes these 3 things, which is real estate data, skip tracing, and direct mail. So we're going to show you all 5 of these things, but we're going to start with driving for dollars. Before I jump into the actual tech, I'll say this. We've been around since 2017 officially. And since then, we've seen a lot of apps pop up and go. So for those of you who are just coming into the industry, you might not know that. So I wanted to give you some tips on how to choose the technology that you can be confident will be there for the long run. That way you don't have to switch apps if that company stops innovating or goes out of business. First of all is you want to look at their iTunes and Google Play stores. And you want to look at how many reviews they have as well as the rating. So you can see DealMachine's got a 4.8 with 2,300 reviews. And on the Google Play Store, again, it's 4.8 with 1,000 reviews. And you want to see not only do they have the reviews, but are they innovating and adding a lot of features? So here is the part, let's see here. Version history. So you want to look through the version history. You want to make sure that they're adding significant features frequently. So every 2 weeks, we come out with a big release with brand new features. You want to make sure they're not just doing bug fixes every month. You want to see that they're continuing to invest in the product. So just wanted to start off for those of you who have questions like, how does DealMachine compare to XYZ? Well, go look at those other companies' app stores and look at the version history, see if they're doing bug fixes or if they're actually innovating a lot. And so that would be my advice to answer that question. Now, let's talk about driving for dollars. So DealMachine obviously is a mobile app. I just showed you that. One thing that sets us apart as well is everything, we're mobile first. So everything you can do on the website, you can also do inside of your mobile app. There's not really a single feature that you can't do on one platform or the other. Everything's built for mobile and web. So that's going to be a big differentiator because for other apps, that's not true. So if you're driving for dollars, either on the web or on your mobile, you're going to click a property. They look like black dots that you can just tap and then you can view more information about it. And some quick info I'm gathering is that this is owner occupied, which is fine. If it's run down, I'm still going to add it. It was recently sold though. So May 12th. Now I probably wouldn't add that property. They just sold it. So they probably don't want to sell it again. So let's move on. So I'm driving around, driving for dollars. Let's see, 1245 looks like, that's run down. Well, they bought it 2 years ago. So that's okay. I'll probably add that one if it looks run down and it's over 2 years old. So I can see some other information about it. And I'm going to go ahead and just add the lead. So that's how you do it. Okay. Next step would be I could skip trace it or I could send mail. I'm going to hold off on that and just tell you the rest about driving for dollars real quick. But skip tracing or sending mail is easy to do just right here after you added the lead. So a couple other things you're seeing on this map is there's yellow lines and green lines. Let me tell you about that. So when you're driving for dollars, if you are out there enough, you might get turned around. You might want to cover an entire area. The route tracking actually helps you remember where you went and where you haven't covered. And the green means you've been there recently. The yellow means it's been over 6 months. And the red means it's been between a year and 2 years since you've been there. So that's what the colors mean. Let's see, what else can we show you? Other people really want to see what vacant properties are in the area visually, and they want to go check those out. So you could use the highlight properties feature and apply that preset. And oh, there you go. There's one right in front of us that's vacant. And the reason why the software knows it's vacant is because, have you guys ever like not check your mail for a really long time and just let it build up in the mailbox? Eventually the mail service can't actually deliver mail anymore because your box has no room. So they'll report back through the postal worker that it's vacant and they'll stop delivering mail there. That's the primary source for how we know if a property is vacant. So just a FYI, it's usually pretty up to date because it only takes a week or so or 2 weeks for that mailbox to get full. All right, let's go over here as well. So if I've driven a bunch of routes, I can view a summary of those routes over here. I personally have some drivers driving for me. So that's another part of the driving for dollars plans. You could have somebody drive for you and you'll get a summary of where they drove, which is very important. If you're paying somebody hourly, you want to make sure they're actually working and not just chilling, eating a churro at Taco Bell. So you can break down not only visually, but let's say I want to pay Martin every Friday, which is what I actually do, is we pay everyone on Friday. So you go find your driver, Martin White, and say update the analytics. And you want to look at the last week. So I'll do the 1st through the 8th. There we go. So it looks like Martin drove 160 miles in 15 hours. That's pretty good. The other thing I want to do is confirm how many properties did he add in that time frame. So I'll head over to the leads view. I'm going to filter it by driver. I guess it's called added by Martin White. And then I also want to use the date added, last 7 days. There we go. So Martin added 348 leads. I can see it right here in the last week. And so then I can verify, hey, 348 divided by 15. Yeah, it's about 12 an hour. So I'm good. You know, that's pretty good. So I feel good about paying Martin for his work. He did his job. Well, the other thing is I have him take pictures. So the final check I'll do is I'll spot check some of these photos. Hey, I could tell this house looks run down. So good job, Martin. You did a good job. I might spot check a couple more and be like, yep, this one looks good too. Basically, I don't look at all 348. It takes too much time. But I quickly review that and I have them add photos. So I have them add photos so I can spot check them. So that's the 3 things I do weekly whenever I decided to outsource my driving. So those are the bulk of the driving features. I'm going to show you one more thing. This is kind of more advanced, so I'm not going to spend too much time on it at the moment. Back to the driving tab. If you want to recruit drivers, you want to find somebody that's not going to fizzle out. It's kind of harder than it seems. And it's also important than it might seem because you're going to spend your time like training them and telling them what to do. And if they fizzle out, all that time is wasted and you still have no driver. So you don't want to do that very much. And so the way to do it, we've got like a whole video and a process, but the elite version of the driving plan also gives you a landing page, training videos to train all your drivers automatically, and a welcome email. So then instead of you spending time training them, we've automated that training process for you. And you can very quickly see if they're able to digest this training, do what it says before you hire them. So this is the elite level for you guys that do like Gerard was saying, like, hey, I want to delegate because I've got, 6 months of living expenses saved up. What's the next step? This is an option. If you don't want to drive for dollars anymore, you can pay somebody $20 an hour to do it. So your time might be spent doing something you enjoy more or get better ROI from. So this concludes the driving for dollars portion of the demo. Before I move on, I'm going to tell you about List Builder next, and then I'm also going to spend more time on the data, the skip tracing, and the marketing. Let me know, you guys ready to move on to List Builder? I'm just now catching up on the chat.
Jam's been answering some of them too, so.
Okay, perfect. Cool.
Tracy, I like your answer.
Okay, this is gonna go, quick. Lists, let's talk about List Builder. So actually, let me jump back here. So driving for dollars is the lowest cost leads. It gives you the greatest ROI. List Builder will give you leads really fast, but it does require more marketing, which will require more money. So it just depends on where you're at and what your goals are. Some people use both, but if you're just starting out and you want to know what is the lowest cost way to get leads, driving for dollars. For some people, let's say they're doing 10 deals like Javier, and Javier's like, hey, how do I get my cost per deal down? Because I want to make more money per deal. He might implement driving for dollars at scale with some drivers to get the greatest ROI. It'll just take a little bit to get the leads flowing, but it's going to help his business become better. So depending on where you're at, driving for dollars, lowest cost, greatest ROI. List Builder is fastest leads, but requires more marketing. And here's how it works. You can select your zip code, your city, or you can draw an area. I love to draw the area. That's the most fun for me when I'm demoing this. And so I'm going to select the old north side of Indianapolis, and I'm going to find all the vacant properties. There are 26 vacant properties currently in the old north side of Indianapolis. The final choice I have to make is to make it a smart list or not. So the smart list is very simple. If you pull a list without the smart, it's just a list. It's 26 properties, and you could start mail or cold calling them. But if a new property becomes vacant, if you've got smart list turned on, DealMachine will automatically add that to your list, and it will automatically start that marketing campaign that you've set up for the list. So that's what smart list is. Once you click submit, it's going to pull the list, and then you can send direct mail, skip trace, and cold call or text, your choice. But that's how the List Builder works. It's really powerful, even though it was pretty simple to demo, because there's a lot of filters that you can pick and choose and get exactly the type of leads that you want. All right, so the list is pulling and it's about done. It's going to show up over here in the leads view, and I'll be able to show you that right now. Okay, there it is. So that's driving for dollars. That's the List Builder. Okay, David said he can't see the screen. I hope you guys can all see the screen. Elise, can you see it? Oh, she said her computer won't charge.
Yes, I can see it.
All right, good deal. All right, so let's talk about what is this real estate data, what is this skip tracing, and what is this direct mail marketing that comes with DealMachine? Real estate data, really plain and simple, is the county records, the mortgage balances, the vacancy, the foreclosure. It's all these filters you get over here on the right-hand side. And you can see properties that you already have can be filtered, but if you want to get new properties, that's when you use the List Builder. So we include all that data, and you saw some of it earlier when I was looking at these properties before. And one thing also, you can get a link to the county website to view the property there as well from DealMachine. So let's talk about skip tracing. Let's skip trace this lead. So press the skip trace button if you want to skip trace one lead. In just a couple of seconds, it should come back. All right, so it looks like we've got some phone numbers, 4 phone numbers, 4 emails, and 1 additional address. And okay, it's corporate owned. And so we've got a corporate address up in Zionsville as well as a owner address in Zionsville. So if one doesn't work, we try the other. And then also we've got some phone numbers. We've got very, very high quality connected, disconnected reporting. So call the number that's connected, and that's going to be your best bet to get you to the owner. And you've got some email addresses to try as well. And so I definitely would try this top one since it has the green check mark as deliverable, verified by our system. There's one other thing I wanted to show you guys about DealMachine skip tracing that is totally unique to DealMachine. Haven't seen it anywhere else. Clear the list. Now let's filter it by skip trace successful. Applying the filter. Mohammed, it'll tell you do not call if it is on the do not call list. That'll come through automatically for you. All right, so we've got properties that have been skip traced. And what I wanted you to notice was, let's see here. All right, so you got the owner name and you've got some visual bolding because we actually check the caller ID. So we know the owner name from the county record. It's here in this first column. And then phone one, some of those are bolded. That's because their caller ID, we pulled that number's caller ID in a different database. And if it came back the same as the owner name, that's very, very likely going to connect you to the right person. So you should prioritize that number and those leads that have that verification. If you're looking at a giant list and you're like, how do I get the lowest hanging fruit the fastest? So that's a big feature that a lot of people don't know about in DealMachine that can help you get the most out of your time right away. And if you guys aren't seeing this, you know, Rodney Gates is the county, Gates Nita Mobile is the caller ID. So those match up and that's why it's bolded. Anything else about skip tracing you want to say, Elise?
No, Hamilton asked how much skip tracing is, and I know that Jam is probably going to answer that, but we have skip tracing as low as 12 cents on our elite plan.
Yeah, 14 on the other plans, I believe.
Correct.
Yes. All right, so let's go to the final thing, which is a big thing. It's a big recent thing, is the mailer system. So we just totally upgraded our mail system, and we've had a lot of these 4x6 postcard designs. They're still there, don't worry, and they work really well. But what we just changed was you can upload your own. So like, let's say you did, you know, like a mail design, custom design with like a local person, you know, you can upload that same design into DealMachine and you can send postcards out with that design. You can also totally edit the designs, and that's not only the text, but it is the shapes and the sizes and the layers of things. So here is me editing the text. Over on the yellow, you can see that it's changing when I'm editing the text. But you could also change the layer order. So if I put the text behind the yellow box, it goes away, but it's still there. Don't worry. I can move it around and put it wherever I want. So this is a brand new feature in DealMachine that's been here for about a month. It's really powerful. The main benefit is like, hey, if you're just starting out, use one of the basic postcards. But if you're doing a lot of volume like Javier, he may want to stand out with a postcard that he's already tested over the years that he knows works really well. So you've got a lot of great options that are unique for you inside of DealMachine. Let me put this back over the yellow so I don't forget. There we go. And of course, you can see the back as well. Love to put your picture on there. That's been my experience to get a great response. All right, save and exit. We've also got 6x9 postcard sizes. You could create one from scratch or upload one, or create one from one of our templates that look like that. Okay, let me delete that. And then we have an even bigger one, which is 6x11. And then we've got handwritten, which you've seen before. We've had that before. It's now in a new place. And so once you've got your designs figured out, then you can create a campaign. So a simple campaign would be like, hey, repeat this basic postcard 7 times and just do that for every deal. Perfect. If you're more sophisticated, and I don't recommend doing this until you've done like several deals per month for a while, because you just don't need to. But if you want to, if you're at that point where you're able to do a lot of testing, then you could say like, first postcard is going to say something different than the second postcard. And then the third postcard is going to be different. And then the fourth postcard is going to be like a final one. So you could set that up with a more advanced campaign here as well. I'm not going to get into it, but this is exactly how you do it with the steps, right? This step would be repeat 21 days, send it 6 times. Then you could send a final postcard with a different design. So this gives you the flexibility if you want to do that. And then, okay, a couple other things that are really nice about the new mail system. If you've got all these driving for dollars leads that you're adding, you don't want to be surprised with charges, even though they're all, even though you set it up to repeat 21 days, you'd still like to know when your card's going to get charged to send that mail. So the calendar will tell you. So mailers sent and scheduled for July, estimated price for scheduled mailers, $4.41. We have put a lot of effort into the reporting, the calculation of the price in the calendar, so that there's no surprises when you're using DealMachine for marketing, and that you can just clearly plan your finances and see when that's going to go out. There's another pretty cool view that I'm going to show you before I wrap up. Is you could select 25 leads, say start a campaign. I'm going to select this 3-mailer campaign, and it's going to tell you the exact breakdown of everything. So it's going to be 3 mailers, 25 leads, 49 cents is $36. And you're just going to pay 12 today, and you'll pay $36 over the course of this whole campaign, which would be like 50 days or so. And then my balance, I've got a lot of balance on this as a test account. That's why it's so high. But yeah, it's just going to show you all your breakdowns so that you can see exactly how your mail is going to be handled in DealMachine. So that concludes the demo. I'm really curious to hear from you guys on a scale of 1 to 10. How confident are you? If you don't have that plan, the next step is to select the driving for dollars or the list builder plan. Scale of 1 to 10, guys. How confident are you in what your next step is going to be? Okay, I'm seeing a 9, a 10, a 7. It's completely okay. I do see a couple of 4s, Hannah and Michael. That's okay too. I don't want you guys to stay at a 4. I want to help you guys get to a 9 and to a 10. One resource I have for you guys is we do daily live trainings on very specific topics, and we're going to post the link there. If you're still not sure what to do, I want to direct you guys over to this training page. Okay, custom mailers at the top, driving for dollars 101, wholesaling 101, and list builder 101. Those are the 4 trainings. We run them daily. So I would prioritize signing up for whichever one you feel like you need the most help in. And we will get you from a 4 up higher so you feel more comfortable. All right, and I think Elise had to sign off. Her computer crashed. She's trying to reboot. But I just wanted to say thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. Thank you, Jam. And be sure to sign up for one of those trainings or sign up for one of these plans as your next step. And we are just a message away as well on the website and in the app. Less than 5-minute response time. We will help you. So can't wait to help you guys and help you guys get success. I hope you have a great night and happy deal finding.